Qlik back again. In video one, I showed you how to create the OpenAI connector that we're going to be using to augment what Qlik already does with AI. Today's video is going to be specially focused right around how to actually utilize the connector and make the calls to it once you've created it. So let's dig right in. I said when I began this series that I'm going to be talking about OpenAI and Qlik. The goal here is to recognize Qlik has always been an AI platform. This is nothing new for us. What I want to focus on today in this use case is how I can supplement what Qlik already does so well by taking advantage of what it is that OpenAI does so well. So let's take a look at some data that I've got here and then walk through my use case. I've got a set of orders. Yay! Super important, highly vital, highly sensitive sales figures for the company. Yay! And of course, it's all fake, right? I've got a list of products here where I've got the product, I've got a name for it, I got a label for it, I got a link for it. Yay! Completely fake dimensions, right? But we can pretend this is highly sensitive customer data. You may be thinking there's no way you should pass that highly sensitive data to OpenAI. Now, whether you trust them or not, and they do have documentation that says if you're calling the AI through AI, not through ChatGPT, it will not reuse your data to train anything. Whether you believe that or not, completely up to you. I'm going to say for our particular use case, I don't care. Because getting answers about these values isn't my goal here. What am I going to use it to do math that we know it's not good at? Do I need it to give me a list of things? Can I already get that when I search and Qlik? Of course I can. You know what I want to use it for? I want to use it to supplement our Insight Advisor chat. I want to have it give me other ways to refer to these field names the way that end users might. Not everybody is going to call it order value. Some people are going to think of it as sales. Some people aren't going to think of order key. They're going to think of IDs or unique identifier, or they have different words. That is what OpenAI is great at, right? It's a text engine that has been trained on millions and millions of things about text and relationships. So that's my use case. I've got my data set here. Now what I'd like to do is ask it, please give me alternatives that I could use and put in my vocabulary so that end users using Qlik's existing AI to ask questions have a better likelihood of the way they're asking getting an answer from it. Now, there's a little bit of code here. If you're not familiar with Qlik script, bear with me for a minute. This is fairly easy to understand. What I'm doing is I'm saying, hey, I want a table that I'm going to prompt OpenAI with. I'm going to pass it a field name, and I'm going to pass it a prompt. Now, what I want you to do is iterate through however many tables I now have in memory. Guess how many I'll have? 2. I'll have orders and I'll have products. And then I say, hey, now that you're iterating through those tables, I want you to iterate through the fields. How many fields does orders have? Let's go through them. How many fields does products have? Let's iterate through them. Now I create a trace of these, so as we run the load script, you'll see it coming out. Hey, the name of the table I'm working on right now is, hey, the name of the field I'm working on right now is, and we'll see that go through. Now, I've got this table. This is the table I'm going to pass to our connector. And so what I'm doing is I'm setting it up. Hey, whatever field I'm on now, from whichever table, I want you to put that in quotes as the field name because it's a string. And then the question, the prompt I want you to do is give me a single comma-separated list without numbers that contain 10 unique alternative ways to a field called order, order key, product, product name, order value. And we'll see what those results come back. So that's what our table will look like. And we'll look at the data model. And then you can see here that I've called already the function. I mentioned in video 1 that I was going to walk through some of these other parameters when I talked about my use case. Notice here I'm calling that GPT-3.5 turbo rows predictable unique. So let me go ahead and walk through this. I'm going to edit this. I'm not going to save it this time. You'll see, yes, I chose the turbo 3.5, which was what we chose the first time. You'll see I've lowered my temperature. I want this to be very predictable. I do not want bizarre field names out there. So I've set that to be very predictable. I've given it 2,000 tokens to use, even though when we see the token usage here, you'll realize it's not even close to that. And you'll see that I've raised the frequency and presence penalties. What I don't want to see, and what I do see if that frequency is lower, is order underscore date, order underscore DT, order date with no space, order date with no hyphens, and all kinds of the same exact variations. That's not what I'm curious. That's not what I'm most interested in generating. I want to see things that are unique. So I want to remove that frequency penalty from there. So that's how I specifically tied in those types of things. So I should get a very predictable and unique set of answers when I get this back. So let me go ahead and press load data. And you'll see here, hey, the field name is this. The number of fields is this. Hey, I'm working on this. Here's how many lines I got. Here's my field name here. And now it has the table generated with my output, and it's calling my OpenAI at this point. That's what I'm waiting on because I've already got to table and field number 9. So we'll give this a second to run. And you'll notice here that we end up with an error telling us that model's currently overloaded with other requests. You can try your model again. This isn't a Qlik error. This is an OpenAI error. They returned that error code to us. So what I'm going to do is simply go ahead and rerun that again. But I wanted you to see you can get errors. Don't panic. Remember, this thing is still in kind of a beta-ish stage, and they're telling you, look, we're going to do the best we can with the resources that we have. The more that they turn up additional servers as the day goes on today, I'll have a better chance of getting an answer right away. And you notice it comes right back. So I could have edited that part out, but I wanted you to see there's still some chances, as this is a new thing, that you're going to see the error. That is not a Qlik error. That is an OpenAI error. All right, so let's close that, and I'm going to go ahead and take a look now at the data model for this. Now we're going to see a couple of things. Notice here, I've got 2 distinct data islands. One has got my product and order information, and one has got my prompt table, right? And so as it rolled through, hey, I want the field order date, give me a single comma separator, blah, 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 with order date, of order year month, of order of product. And then I get my output. Now, I'm showing you this because I want you to see these tokens. Each of these questions was very, very close, right? There were some that were a couple characters off, and that cost me a couple more tokens. and some of the response results got me some. Notice that the highest, so 10 values for this word, was 62 tokens for a total of 94. So these particular use cases not even coming close to what the token limit would be for calling that. All right, let's go ahead and go in and analyze our sheet and see what the answers came back as. So notice I've got a table up here that's giving me the field name and the prompt that I was asking for. And then I've got an output table that gives me the information that was returned. So for label, it suggested, hey, people might refer to that as a tag, a category, a title, a heading, a nameplate, a designation, an identifier, or descriptor. Wow, those are great. Some people might refer to this link as a hyperlink, a URL, a web address, a website link, a clickable text, anchor text, clickable element, a navigation item, and a redirector. That's fantastic! Those are great terms. Hey, this list, I got 10, but notice how it comes back with the numbers. So it has numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Notice in my prompt, I was asking it not to put numbers in it. This is a key thing here. I tried to engineer this prompt to ensure that I didn't get numbers in my answers, and yet it gave them to me anyway. Now, I could tweak my parameters. I could try to change the way I ask the question. I could ask for a different model and see if I can get that the way that I wanted it. But I wanted you to see, it will give you the 10, but there's sometimes you're just not quite sure if you can trust the answers or not. But the text is the key here, right? That's what I wanted. I need to supplement what Insight Advisor can do, and by calling the OpenAI, I can pass it names, not data, and have it take advantage of what it does the best and augment what Qlik already does with AI, thanks to the help of the OpenAI connector. Have a great day.